Imagine if a single flower could buy you a house. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, in 17th century Netherlands, that actually happened. People lost their minds over tulips, throwing their life savings at these fragile little petals. And then, well, it all crashed. Welcome to Tulip Mania, the dumbest financial bubble in history. Back in the 1600s, the Netherlands was one of the richest and most powerful nations in the world. Thanks to global trade, the Dutch were rolling in money. And like any wealthy society, they needed new ways to flex their status. Enter the tulip. Originally from the Ottoman Empire, tulips arrived in the Netherlands and quickly became a symbol of wealth and class. The rarest varieties, especially ones with bizarre striped or flamed patterns caused by a mosaic virus, which they didn't know at the time, were insanely desirable. Think of it like modern luxury goods. Back then, owning rare tulips was like driving a Ferrari or flashing a Rolex. Only difference? Your Ferrari won't rot in the ground after a few months. The Dutch even had something called tulip books. Catalogs filled with lavish illustrations of the most sought-after varieties. People would browse through them like it was an art gallery crossed with a stock exchange. At first, it was just the ultra-rich collecting tulips. Aristocrats, wealthy merchants, and nobility were happy to pay a fortune for these exotic bulbs. But then, something curious happened. As prices continued to rise, more and more people from all social classes started jumping in. It wasn't about the flower anymore. Tulips became speculative assets. People weren't buying tulips to plant in their gardens. They were buying them because they believed they could flip them for profit. It was like real estate flipping, but with perishable plants. And so began one of the first futures markets in history. People started trading tulip contracts, basically IOUs for bulbs that hadn't even been dug up yet. These contracts changed hands multiple times before a single bulb ever touched soil. The frenzy got so intense that pubs and taverns turned into tulip trading floors. Imagine a bunch of slightly drunk Dutchmen shouting prices for invisible flowers while drinking beer. It was like a botanical version of Wall Street. One famous example, the Semper Augustus tulip. This flower, with its dramatic red and white streaks, became the poster child of tulip mania. At its peak, a single bulb was allegedly sold for the equivalent of 10 times the annual income of a skilled craftsman. That's like spending $500,000 on a plant you can't even eat. People mortgaged their homes, sold family heirlooms, and took out massive loans just to get in on the craze. Everyone thought the price would just keep going up. It was the 17th century version of to the moon. And here's the wildest part. During this period, tulip bulbs weren't even being delivered immediately. Transactions were often made during the winter months when the bulbs were still in the ground. So people were literally trading the promise of a future flower, a piece of paper representing something they hadn't seen and might not even receive. It became a game of musical chairs, but with flowers and financial ruin. As with any financial bubble, the moment someone realizes, wait, this is stupid, everything collapses. In early 1637, people stopped buying. Maybe one guy tried to auction off a bulb and got no takers. Maybe someone decided they'd rather buy bread than a plant. No one knows exactly what triggered it, but confidence evaporated. Suddenly, no one wanted to be the last fool holding a worthless bulb. Panic set in. Contracts were voided, debts went unpaid, lawsuits piled up. Tulip prices fell faster than a drunken sailor off a canal bridge. The ripple effect was brutal. While the ultra-wealthy recovered, the middle and lower classes who had gambled everything were wiped out. It didn't just ruin individuals, it dented trust in markets and changed the way the Dutch approached speculation for years. Ironically, the government didn't even bother bailing anyone out. No tulip stimulus package, no central bank intervention, just a collective, well, that was dumb. So, what can we learn from Tulip Mania? First, people will always chase the next big thing, no matter how ridiculous it is. Whether it's meme stocks, cryptocurrency, or Beanie Babies, history repeats itself. Second, when everyone around you is saying, "This is a sure thing. Prices will never go down," that's probably your cue to run. Third, the value of something is only what people are willing to pay for it, and that can change overnight. And finally, if you ever find yourself in a situation where a literal flower costs more than a house, maybe, just maybe, something isn't right. So next time someone tells you Bitcoin or NFTs are insane, just remember, we once traded houses for flowers.